Did anybody else who wears glasses like absolutely hates the way they look at them? Like, yeah, I do, bro. Why'd y'all let me wear glasses on a recording? Don't even worry about it. It ain't happening again. What's good with y'all, man? Welcome back to another video. So today we watching Araki Forgot Debunked. Y'all told me to check this out like a lot, bro. Y'all told me like, yo, watch this, because as y'all know, if you don't know, we're reacting to JoJo on the channel, and there be a lot of questions I'll ask, and you guys are like, nah, Araki didn't forget, or this or that or something. So we're gonna watch Araki Forgot Debunked. Shout out to Hamon Beat. He's the one who came up with this. Like, this is a cool concept, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this is dope. But shout out to you, Hamon Beat. I'm gonna leave a link to the video in the description. In this video, we're gonna do part 1 and 2. I know the main part that I had questions on was 3, but I'm like, we might as well check out this whole thing, show some love to him. So yeah, link in the description to this. I'm hoping to see some stuff that like I didn't even think about, you know. Like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm just excited to see it. So let's go ahead and do it. God, I hate these glasses so much, but I'm like so blind with that. I'm like, you guys don't even know how blind I am. You don't even want to know. Like, it's bad. Let's go ahead and get started, man.
Welcome to the first part of my new series where I will be debunking Araki Forgot. I have collected a large number of these from people online, and some seem so absurd to me that I'll be showing them on screen.
Oh, okay, so he got these from other people like complaining about stuff.
Part by part for this series, but it isn't exactly possible for part 1. Lots of people bring up things from part 1, but they are really about things introduced in later parts, so I'll be focusing on the first 2 parts in this video. Feel free to leave whatever you want to see later in the comments, so I can cover whatever I miss at a later time.
Did he say maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Will Zopelli demonstrates Hamon by punching a frog, leaving the frog unharmed and destroying the rock underneath.
Wait a minute. Before you get started, I've been saying his name wrong the whole time. I'll say Zeppeli. He said Zopelli. Have I been saying it? Yo, let me know, bro. That might be the first thing. Hold on, maybe Araki forgot something. I don't know, bro. I'm blaming Rocky, bro.
Will Zopelli demonstrates Hamon by punching a frog, leaving the frog unharmed and destroying the rock underneath. Many people point out that this is seemingly contradicted by Caesar in part 2, who says that Hamon has no effect on stone. However, this is not the case.
I forgot about that.
Translation in the common anime subs. In the manga translation, you can see that Caesar is specifically talking about the Pillar Men themselves. Hamon will be unable to kill them as long as they are stone.
Oh,
in part 1, Will was using the frog as a conduit to transfer the force of his punch to break the rock. While Caesar could definitely break the stone, it would have little effect. This is supported by the fate of Santana, who is still alive despite being broken apart in his stone form. Caesar himself also witnessed that the men will absorb whoever touches them while they're made out.
So with that, I didn't even like. That's something I didn't think about, like the fact that like it doesn't affect stone or whatever. But that's just people not really. I feel like that's just one people are not paying attention on, because like you misconstrue. Yeah, that's how you say it. You misconstrue like what Caesar was talking about, so you just think he just meant like all stone
out of rock. Another property of Hamon people seem to think Araki forgot is the healing. In part 1, Will meets a man who uses Hamon to heal people.
Speedwagon
he also uses Hamon to heal Jonathan's broken arm. For some reason, people keep saying this is forgotten, when really it has no other opportunities to be used. Do people think that they could have healed Caesar or Loggins? Do people think Hamon could just bring people back from the dead? I fail to see the logic in bringing this up. In part 1,
I don't know, because maybe I'm forgetting something, right? But didn't Speedwagon use some sort of healing on Jonathan in part 1? Because I remember saying something about it in my reaction. I'm like, yo, Speedwagon's a healer? What? Or no, he used it on Zeppeli, maybe. I don't know, bro. I could be forgetting. Let me know, bro.
A Hamon-infused rose at Dio, while he is just a severed head. Some people ask how he is able to use Hamon, which is based on breathing, while he has no lungs. This is a misconception, as you do not need to be breathing at all times to have Hamon stored in your body. For example, Jonathan was still able to use Hamon
under the water
after getting a quick breath of air. Hamon is created by blood flow, and blood still flows in your body even when you're not breathing.
Oh, okay.
Dyer had his body frozen, which halted his blood flow. His head was still not frozen, so he was able to use the small amount of Hamon he had left to infuse the rose.
Okay.
An extremely minor
that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Speedwagon uses his body heat to try and help Zopelli's frostbite.
No, that's what it was. That's what it was, right? Remember when Speedwagon had some supernatural heat ability? Was it heat? I thought did he do something else with healing?
And people think this is a supernatural ability, despite him explaining that he learned it while traveling the world. One of the strangest things I've seen is a group of people who say Araki forgot about George Joestar's ring. George looked at it as he was dying, which makes the police officer bring up the story of George letting Dario go free. Over 100
That's crazy how
people
far JoJo
apparently
has
think
come,
this
bro.
is meant to come back in some way after George gives Jonathan the ring. The ring is really just there for Jonathan to remember his father by when he looks at it during the fight with Dio, but apparently that isn't good enough. George actually only tells Jonathan to take it in the anime, so maybe people just assumed a larger emphasis was being placed on it from there. I really don't get why some people are so particular about this small detail.
So with that, he's basically just saying, like, you know, they showed the ring. It seemed like some like significance, but people are making it seem like Araki forgot because like it looks like it was such a big significance and it's supposed to come back. And people are already on Araki's head about forgetting stuff. So they're like, oh, look, there's another thing he forgot. What about that ring? That was so important. What happened with that? But in reality, it's just a ring. Like, it's just like a memento type thing. One of the things that I really like just thought about with like JoJo, and then I'm like looking back on like part 1 and stuff because it's been a while since I watched it. It's crazy to think like Jonathan gave up his life to defeat Dio, and look how far like Dio is. Keep in mind, I'm only on part 4, so don't say nothing crazy in the comments. But I'm only on part 4, like somewhat in the beginning. But it's crazy to see like how far this show has come, and the fact that like he gave up his life just for Dio to be a thing like years and years and years later, bro.
A recurring example people try to use as an Araki forgot is whenever there's a minor character who appears for a short time. In part 1, the example would be the young boy character, Poco.
I'm sorry I keep pausing, but I want to, I want this to be a reaction, not just me just sitting here watching this dude's freaking dope video. But anyways, right? That's something I was gonna say about the freaking Ann thing. I know this is part 1 and 2, but I'm passionate about part 3 because like we just got done finishing it, and I can't wait to watch his debunk for part 3 because boy, there's a lot of stuff on there. I want to know like what he thinks or like just him debunking it, and Ann was one of them because like. I was one of the people. I'm like, yo, Araki forgot. I literally said that. I'm like, nah, he forgot, bro.
Extremely minor character who is really only relevant for one fight. He has a completed arc where he starts as a coward and eventually becomes brave and helps Jonathan. After this, his sister is rescued. I really have no idea why people would want him to come back, since he really has nothing left to do. After his defeat, Santana entered a rock-like state to save himself. The Speedwagon Foundation kept him underneath lights so that he would be unable to escape. A lot of people seem to think this is a plot hole, and it would imply Santana would return later. Really, he's written off in somewhat of a joke panel, so I really don't see how people expected this. At the end of the day, Santana is such a non-threat to Joseph that he probably just dispatched him off screen. A small one that I've seen brought up a surprising amount of times is asking what happened to Joseph's clackers. This is a prime example of people literally just not paying attention in the slightest.
See, that's what I said, bro.
By Wired Beck.
That's what I said.
When Santana is first
Wired Beck, I forgot
Stroheim
about dude.
Names him after the winds of Mexico. Later on, Wamu can be seen referring to him by the same name. This is after he overheard Santana's fate from the Nazis, so he must have heard the name there. The way Wamu refers to him also seems to imply that he never had a name to begin with. Cars also refers to him by name during the scene when Stroheim returns. Stroheim mentioned Santana a few moments earlier. Cars would obviously know who Stroheim is talking about since he's the only other Pillarman, and would refer to him as Santana since that is the only name Joseph and Stroheim know him by.
Oh, okay.
Another annoying thing people bring up is the motivation of Straizo. After growing old, he became jealous of Dio's immortality and decided to betray Speedwagon and steal the mask. People say that this conflicts with his previous actions, when he trained Lisa and gave her the red
I'm glad he brought that up. Because that's something I said too. I'm like, damn, like Straizo, like why would he do that? And I don't know what people are complaining about. I guess my thing that I would complain about is the fact that like I really just don't know why. But maybe he's about to explain right now. Like,
Straizo was the one to raise Lisa and taught her Hamon since childhood. Lisa even has a line where she laments that Straizo eventually lost his mind, which clearly occurred after he had begun to age. Obviously, Straizo would not be concerned about his aging until the signs started the show. And he didn't finally go over the edge until he learned that there were multiple stone masks. Finally, an idea that a lot of people seem to bring up is that Araki forgot about cars. I really don't understand why people would think this, since it was made very clear that Cars went insane and stopped thinking during his time in space. and that was everything I could find for parts 1 and 2.
He went insane and stopped thinking, so like he's essentially dead but not dead. I didn't see. One of the things I was gonna bring up was like, is some of this stuff like you just wouldn't know because like of the manga? Is the manga and the anime that much different? Like I really don't know because I've never read the JoJo manga. You know, I've always just watched the show. But like I wonder how much like you can learn from just watching or from reading the manga versus like watching the show. I wonder if like you just get more information. But I want to see what this says right here because I guess he went insane essentially. I want to hear what he said one more time.
Understand why people would think this, since it was made very clear that Cars went insane.
Yeah, he went
and
insane.
Stopped thinking during his time in space.
Cars was never able to go back to Earth, becoming a life form between organic and mineral. He wandered for eternity into the endless void known as a space being, unable to die even though he wished for it. Cars eventually stopped thinking. That's crazy, bro. That's really crazy if you think about it. Like imagine just like you're still alive, you can't move, and like the only thing you could do is just think, and you just stopped, bro. Like that's absolutely insane. I can't even fathom that. That's wild. But again, shout out to he said Hamon beat, I think he said, but I'm gonna call it Hamon because that's all I know it as. But shout out to Hamon beat. Link in the description to this video. If you guys want me to check out the part 3 video that he did to this, I definitely will. I'm going to do it either way, but it's the fact that y'all want to see it. But I'm watching that because I'm interested. And then like if you guys do want to see that, let me know if you want to see part 4 when we get to that point. But this was fun, bro. Like these are some questions I had. Some of the things are stuff that I didn't even really like think about, and it's also because part 1 and 2 is so far like back behind in my memory and stuff that like I didn't really think about that stuff. But part 3 is the one I'm excited for because like that's fresh in my brain. There's hella questions, and like Anne is one of them. And I get with like, you know what, we'll talk about that in another video. Yo, thank y'all so much for recommending this was dope. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you want to see JoJo reactions, we do them on the channel. All you gotta do is subscribe. But again, thank y'all so much for this. Link to in the description to this channel, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.